This is your icon era, obviously. An icon playing icons. Zeus, the wizard.
That's right. I'm no icon, but yes, Zeus. And, I thought it was Dr. Zeus. I came the first day with a cat in the hat. I'd done my research. They said, Jeff, cat, why are you rhyming everything in that whimsical way? I said, I'm ahead of you. I went further. They said, no. It's Zeus. It's not Dr. Zeus, you idiot.
Prepare your ears, humans. Happy, Sad, Confused begins now.
I'm Josh Horowitz, and today on Happy, Sad, Confused, he's a happy, sad, confused regular. Very appropriately, he is kind of chaos personified, and he's promoting a show called KAOS. The one and only Jeff Goldblum is back where he belongs on Happy, Sad, Confused.
Thank you, Josh Horowitz. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be with you. Hey, did we ever talk about what's your middle name? Don't tell me. Do you have a middle name?
I do have a middle name.
Don't tell me what it is.
It's not
Have we
interesting.
talked about it?
I don't think so.
Tell me the first initial of your middle name. Just your first name.
You're still in talk show host mode. A.
It's A? Wait just a second.
I didn't do
Is it Aaron? Oh, no. Is it Andy? Is it Wade?
We're going to spend the entire time on this. It's a very basic one. Basic.
Oh, Alan.
Oh.
Aloysius.
That basic name, Aloysius.
Alvin.
No, Alex.
It's Alex. Of
That's
course.
the only disappointment of this whole podcast is going to be that moment just now, because I believed in your magic and it just dissipated.
I have no magic. No. Nor did it dissipate, and I never had it. And I like to play a guessing game of any kind or any games with you. You bring it out of me.
It's good to see you, my friend. I always enjoy our chats. I'm not responsible for the next 40 minutes. It's going to be chaos in the best possible way.
As you said, you tried to give me a good softball, and I whiffed. I went tangential.
No, now you don't get to plug it. No, you missed it.
Okay.
No.
That was the window. I didn't jump through. But chaos, yes. And I am a man of chaos, not necessarily chaotic one thing or another, but I embrace chaos because that's the creative portal, possibly.
Yes. Yeah.
and Ian Malcolm was a chaotician. Are you trying? Is that a version of me?
No. I'm just trying to gauge what's going to happen.
Okay, he was a chaotician, of course.
I'm going to lower the volume because I don't want to. I want to hear your delicious tones better.
Oh, thank you so much. Wow, look at this. He's like, you must have read the Jerry Lewis book, Complete Filmmaker.
I haven't. The man who invented playback, though.
Well, you're
Jerry
living
Lewis.
it. That's correct. On what film did Mr. Lewis?
Is it the one that we've never seen? The
It's
clown
not
who
the day the clown cried. Okay. No. If I'm correct on this, who?
Cinderfella? Nutty Professor. I can keep going.
No, I believe it was Ladies' Man. It was Ladies' Man, I think. And I was gonna play that part in the last movie that he did called.
I know. And Kevin Pollak was in it.
That's the part I was going to play. His son, called Max Rose.
Yes.
And I was going to play it for a second before I got otherwise occupied. Couldn't do it with something else, and so I went to Las Vegas and had a bonding, delightful time with Jerry.
He was delightful because the rep was that he could be a little prickly.
Well, I mean, delightful, I say, for me, because when I grew up, he was a centerpiece of, all those years of was it Paramount, where he had Cinderfella and those. I would see the first run of those with my sister at the Leona Theater. And, he was just so, fantastic. At the Fontainebleau Hotel, the bellboy. Sure. He was great. But then, everybody gets a little older and da-da-da-da-da. And you saw that last interview that he gave that made the rounds, a lot, where, they ask him, so is it very different doing movies and TV? No. He was unhappy.
You will never be like that, though. You get more charming and sweet with each passing year.
You're talking about you. When you point the finger, 3 point back at you. You know that's always true. So chaos. So yes. So chaos. We embraced the chaos for creative purposes. Ian Malcolm was a chaotician, and now KAOS, spelled KAOS, is the name of the show.
August 29th.
August 29th. And I'm just not a dutiful soldier because I'm here to plug it, but I like this show. Have you seen any of it?
I've seen the first few episodes.
You did.
It's a big swing. I like big swing shows, and this is.
I like what you're saying. Big swing in what way?
Well, it's a big concept. It's a big one to wrap your brain around. I'm sure from an acting perspective and for an audience at first, but to its credit, It drew me in. An amazing cast.
What'd you say? Room? What?
It drew me in. It drew me in. You drew me in.
Drew you in. I thought.
Do you want me to sit closer?
I'm always interested in learning new words. I thought you said it's drew me in.
It's drew me in.
I thought,
wow, drew me in.
What is something when it's drew me in? Yes, is that like the drew? Yeah, but it drew you in. Oh, good. And 3 episodes. So you must. I encourage you to see if you like those.
I will.
You know yourself better than I do. See the other 5. It's only 8 that come and get dropped on August 29th. But yes, it's wild. It's a big idea. Charlie Cavell is the creator, and I believe it's a brilliant 8 scripts, or whole movie, 8-hour movie, whatever you call it, that was written and very moving and powerful and hilarious, with a good part for me and everybody and this stellar group of cream of the crop actors. And that's it. I can tell you much more of that. But when you see the next 5, you'll see. Yeah, it's something. You can tell them, but it's the Greek myths in a modern day setting. I wear tracksuits and da da da. But there are different twists on the backstory and how we wound up and getting to be these characters that the scholars will recognize. Oh yeah, that's kind of a beginning point of the story we know and that I studied all my life. But even if you don't know any of it, it's entertaining, as we say. But yeah, we tried to, with these actors and the way we did it, we tried to make it naturalistic and full. These crazy things. I'm married to my sister for these 2,000 years, and how do you really act that truthfully, et cetera?
You get Janet McTeer, that helps.
What a powerhouse she is. Yeah. She's just fantastic. And David Thewlis, yeah. And Stephen Delane, and just it goes on and on. But and then just before we go on, listen to this. Here's the show, and I'll tell you the in a nutshell the rest of the show. Me, I'm maybe divine, maybe not so divine. You'll find out more about how I got to be Zeus, head honcho, big cheese, but. I abuse power. I'm an abuser of power. I'm very complicated, possibly charismatic, but cruel and paranoid and insane and unhinged at this point. And there's a diverse group of earthlings that are truth seekers and loving and get together and unite to possibly unseat this pretender to the throne. They're full of energy and excitement, and maybe they can turn the page. Let's see. That's the show. How's that?
Yeah. Do you feel? I feel something. I feel the audience being tantalized, wanting to know more.
Yes. Yes. Well, there's much more than that. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
We're not going to act out the rest for them.
But. No. It's very rich. There's lots of characters, but that's kind of basically the story.
You follow in a great line of actors who have played the icon that is Zeus. I mean, I will confess my knowledge of Zeus and the Greek gods came mostly from watching Clash of the Titans as a youth. Laurence Olivier,
and then the next one, and the next iteration,
Liam Neeson, of course,
was Liam Neeson.
So this is good. Russell Crowe recently in the Thor movie, Thor: Love and Thunder, played Zeus.
Exactly right. I was there myself in a scene with the great Mr. Crowe. Yes. Now, before that,
I know where you're going to go. I know.
I'm
you
sure.
by now.
I know you know. You know me too well. But, by the way, Charlie Cavell was obsessed as a toddler with Clash of the Titans. So made a lifelong, obsession of the Greek myths and came to this. But me, I go a little further back to Jason and the Argonauts. Yeah, because have we talked about that before? Maybe we have.
I think Harryhausen has come up before.
Yeah, Ray Harryhausen. I like that. And so there was, as I remember it, I haven't seen it regionally, but remember there's Jason, but I think he's being puppeteered by all the people and Zeus mainly in Mount Olympus.
That's why I liked my Clash of the Titans of my youth had that element too. It had the Harryhausen in there. It was delightful.
Oh, yours did?
Yes.
Which is what? The Olivier?
The Olivier, Harry Hamlin, the whole... It's a little cheesy, but as a kid, blew me away. As I'm sure Jason and the Argonauts did for you.
I should show... Yeah, I loved it. I should show the kids... Well, I tried to show them a little bit, Jason and the Argonauts. Hey, in Clash of the Titans, don't they say in both of those some reference to, and I think in one of them, Release the Kraken.
Yes.
Well, here's a spot. I don't think I'm giving anything away when I say in the whole 8 episodes, don't wait for it, I never say release the Kraken.
Well, season 2.
Maybe so. Okay, I hope I haven't spoiled.
This is your icon era, obviously. An icon playing icons. Zeus, the wizard.
That's right. I'm no icon, but yes, Zeus, and I thought it was Dr. Zeus. I came the first day with a cat in the hat. I'd done my research. They said, Jeff, cat, why are you rhyming everything in that whimsical way? I said, I'm ahead of you. I went further. They said, no. It's Zeus. It's not Dr. Zeus, you idiot.
Right. Or Dr. Zaius from Planet of the Apes. It could have gone that way, too.
Should have gone. Well, where'd that song come about? Sing a little bit of that. Rock me, Dr. Z.
I will not be, but
Rock me. And they did a parody of that on The Simpsons, didn't they?
Yes.
It was very funny. Okay, so wait a minute. And that's Wizard of Oz you were getting to. And yes, also that's an iconic character, and I get to dabble in that a bit with the great Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, directed by John M. Chu.
You know who I just met the other day for the very first time?
Don't tell me. Give me the first initial.
J?
J? It's J.
It's a JB.
JB? Wait a minute. Jonathan Bailey. Jonathan Bailey, yes, who's making the rounds. I saw him. Hey, isn't he a charmer?
Oh.
That is a love bug. Yeah, I love that guy. We had a good time. He's fun to be around. Yeah. Jonathan Bailey. And everybody falls in love with him instantly. And wait till you see him as Fiyero in Wicked.
So what was your knowledge base of Ariana Grande prior to Wicked? What was your favorite Ariana Grande song?
I like There Are Many, and I can't tell you. We sang songs and we made some music. I can't tell you anything about that. Don't ask me.
What does that mean?
Don't
what
try
just happened? You just said it. Why would you say that?
It means nothing. I won't tell you.
Are you on her next album? Is that what you're trying to say?
I will not tell you. You can torture me.
I will torture you.
You will not. Hey, no, but my knowledge of her, she showed me.
You going through puberty? What just happened?
I don't know. Sometimes I bark. Hey, like the Billie
Eilish?
Yes, she sometimes has a thing. She's delightful. I adore her, and I met her recently, and she reminded me that I'd met her before, but.
Easily startled.
I know. You've got to take some of that nerve medicine that I'm going to give you. That Mo Howard had on that one show. That's why they took him to the cabin. And then that bear had to come and...
Yeah.
Huh?
We're doing Three Stooges? What are we doing?
Yeah,
okay,
Mo Howard calling Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine. And we saw them. I probably told you. We saw them live in Pittsburgh at the Holiday House. I loved them, but they made my sister cry, Pam. Anyway, so Ariana Grande, in the same way that I just mentioned, somebody else met me when she was a kid. She showed me a picture halfway through the shooting of the two of us taken by her mother backstage at the Pillow Man.
Right.
When she was, 11 or 12, and she came back. We have a picture of ourselves, but I didn't remember that till halfway through the shooting. But before then, I had looked up many of her songs. You know what song I like? I think she covers it. It's that Mariah Carey song, All I Want for Christmas is... I played it over and over again. I cried. It made me crazy. She's just great, great, great. And Cynthia Erivo.
Oh, my God.
Holy cats. But I should have been intimidated by them, as I like to say. But it's true. But I don't know why. I sang songs for between each take, and they sang with me, and it was just great. How about that?
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. What's something you'd love to learn? Yes, as an adult, because as an adult, we really don't make time to learn new things as often as we'd like. It feels like that's been lost to our childhood selves, right? But that's just insane, because we can still learn new things. We can learn to play the piano and read 1,000 books and learn a new language. Therapy can help you reconnect with that initial sense of wonder, because your quote-unquote back-to-school era can truly come at any age. Therapy is so important. If you've benefited from therapy, you know what I'm talking about. I've benefited from therapy, friends and family have. That's why BetterHelp is such an important sponsor of Happy, Sad, Confused. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. They make it so easy. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your very busy schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire, and you get matched with a licensed therapist. Plus, you can switch your therapist at any time, no additional charges. So rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp today. Visit BetterHelp.com BetterHelp.com/HSC today to get 10% off your first month. That's right. BetterHelp. HELP.com/HSC. Leads me to something I was just going to ask you, which is, do you ever get intimidated? I feel like you are the person that is most comfortable in their own skin, perhaps on the planet Earth. This is something I envy in you. I'm not, but
You're not what, envious of me, or you are comfortable in your own skin?
I'm not.
Yes.
I'm a bunch of nerves, some anxiety just pouring out of me. You should know this by now.
I too. That's perfectly includable. That's why you're comfortable. You accept everything about you. You know. Somebody said the way to get over nerves is shake more. If you get a little shaky, shake more.
Don't
Make
try and
yourself
deny it.
shake.
Just go with it. Go with it.
Go with it. Yes.
So when do you feel anxiety in a professional capacity? Do you, like the night before the first day of a shoot, have nerves? Do you have imposter syndrome at this point? I can't imagine you would.
I less so. Sandy Meisner said it takes 20 years to call yourself an actor. So at first, I took that to heart in a good way, but it also kind of haunted me, feeling in the first, because I was lucky. I started to get jobs, as I've bored you with before, right away. Luckily, not too big at first, but I always felt like, I think what you're talking about, imposter syndrome, I felt like, geez, they don't know. I'm really not an actor yet. I'm kind of still learning. So that sort of haunted me a little bit. But by and by, I kind of felt like, I know it's maybe glamorous and the right thing to say, the correct thing to say, oh, no, I'm never,
right.
If you're ever comfortable, and that's true. I know that's true.
Sure.
But I'd be lying if I didn't say that over the decades, I do have less horror at it and, feel like, hey, I kind of, if I don't know what I'm doing now, forget it. I'm just going to enjoy this somehow. So I do have a better time now in that way. But having said that, like Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David discuss on that one episode, maybe they go, hey, having said that, that phrase, why do people say that? Anyway, having said that, I still have let's not call it anxiety. We could call it's anxiety adjacent, but it's an alertness, and let's even call it a professional obligation feeling and responsibility that kind of comes up so that I do my work.
Right.
I don't show up, kind of, whatever this is, before I saw you today, I said, is there anything I need to study? Do I need to look him up or anything that will help me? I did it on the interviews, a couple of people today, and it really did help me.
Yeah.
I went, what's my due diligence? What would that entail in this situation? Let's see. And as a matter of fact, I've got, not from the publicist, I have an itinerary which said, well, then you're going to go and you're going to talk to so-and-so. If they gave me any test questions, I would, once a day, like in the morning, I would go, because I'm often fresh and in that half-dream state, I go, they want to know, is there a place that's an ordinary place, but for now I have, for whatever happened there, I've got an extraordinary association with it. What would that be? Oh. And then on the second or third morning, I go, oh, wait a minute.
Right.
I have an idea. And then I get that idea. I do a little work.
You do. And I will say, this is from personal experience. I remember we were talking before we started about the sketch you did way back when. I always think back to the fact that you were off book, which very few people ever did, coming to one of those sketches. Then I think about the event we did just a year or two ago. I asked you for a homework assignment of like a few movies that.
And I had a list. I probably took out the paper. Yep. No, I come with something up my sleeve. And then, like that approach suggests, what you hope for with that approach is that if you're prepared in the right way and prepared enough, something happens where you can throw it all away, feel a little bit, hold your head up, feel a little bit free, and surprising things will happen.
Right.
That's the idea. And more that happens. Hey, on this last week where I did that 4 consecutive nights of guest hosting for Jimmy Kimmel, that was that could be a daunting and harrowing, and it was. I think it felt like a harrowing task because, you don't want it to go wrong. You don't want to you don't want it to be bad. At least I don't want to not be able to hold my head up and say, hey, I think I did okay, especially for want of preparation.
Right.
So I did what I could, and even that day, it's a 24-hour cycle where you wake up that morning and then you start working, and I spent the day as I got as much sleep as I could, tried and fed myself correctly, and got myself into the right condition and studied. I saw everybody's movies that I was going to talk to.
You're doing better than 90% of the talk show hosts already.
That's what they told me. That's what they told. And then looked up some more and had some more ideas and wrote down some things and then worked with the writers. So did all of that, and then still at the 11th hour before the hour before you go, you're like, and there's still more to do. Come on, and then it's still seat of your pants.
Yeah.
But then because of all that, they turned on the juice and the audience was there, and I kind of went, yay, and I kind of had a genuinely good time.
I relate to everything you're saying. You'll notice I have like pages of freaking notes I prepared for you, and primarily because it's you too. You are very easy to riff with, but like you over prepare, and then you have that all there, and then you just
you're so
enjoy the
good.
moment.
You do it more than I do. So that's what I did. I had cards, and then I put them on the desk, and I referred to them a couple of times, but mostly I digested them, half knew them, and then just went, let's go, and kind of just talked.
Would you ever? You were great, by the way, hosting Jimmy Kimmel.
You're
Fantastic.
so sweet. Thank you.
Would you ever consider hosting the Academy Awards, Jeff Goldblum?
That's so funny. I have.
It's kind of a no-win scenario for a lot of hosts.
That's the conventional wisdom, I believe, and I talked to, because I'm as if I was doing Larry Sanders or creating the show like Paul W. Downs' Hacks. They're going to do this next year about a talk show, and I really am interested in that milieu, is that the correct word, in that world. I played Ernie Kovacs early on, and so that world and how it's developed and evolved is really interesting to me, and especially now having been a guest on these things and having to kind of figure out how to proceed. So I was interested, and so I got involved in conversations with the writers about how things go, the feelings that I might have had, and the approach that I was taking, and talked to somebody very interesting, Aaron Irwin, who's the top-notch hub and cornerstone of their operations there, and Jimmy's right-hand person, and so capable and impressive, told me about the last few years of his Oscar experience. Anyway, we talked a lot about that, so I have a little bit of a feeling about it. Yeah, I think you're right. The thankless.
If David
idea
Letterman
about
can't
that.
get out alive, if they roast him for 30 years, then who can possibly?
Yeah. And then we talked about the awards show, and the awards shows in general. You and I could talk for hours about that stuff.
Happy 50 years of being on screen. Jeff Goldblum,
Is that
1974,
right.
Death Wish. Can you believe it? I mean, we're talking about playing these icons, and this is, I mean, that's a marker. That's a crazy thing to think of.
I guess so. What do you give if you're married 50 years? What do you give your wife? What?
That's a great question. I'm far off from that, so I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'll be looking in the mail for your
you'll got something
presentation.
I guess my question is, do you believe in? I mean, some people like to think of art as something that kind of makes you immortal in a way. Look, I mean, it's foolish to think that film and TV will outlast us by thousands of years. God knows where the planet will be then. But there is something beautiful about the fact that we're going to leave behind whatever that is the hell we've done for future generations. Do you think about that?
Well, not much. No. I mean, even now, I mean, looking back on some stuff, I've tried to get better. And maybe because I might be some of the earlier stuff, I go, let's not watch that, or you can watch it by yourself. Or, there's that. So,
sure.
So leaving it for my future self hasn't been exactly successful. I don't know if I wouldn't discard a lot of it myself. But, I mean, I'm grateful. It's been miraculous and lucky. But no, I mean, off the top of my head, no. I take I like to read Yuval Harari's book, and to tune into some of these now more available physicists and think about the beginning of the cosmos and the future what's going to happen and the time scale and the calendar. And in that vein, from that perspective,
We're a blip.
well, and even the wise people say, hey, in 100 years, all our photographs and no one will remember you. No one. And every evidence of you will be gone like the sands of time. I like, Robert Altman and his wisdom, transcendental paradigm, enlarged wisdom, called his production company Sandcastle Productions, because the metaphor being that, look, we're here right now.
Yes.
The art piece is really us being together, enjoying this.
Right.
However infinitely we can be doing that, because soon enough, as if we're all building a sandcastle with this movie, the water is going to come, the tide is going to come in, and it's going to wash all that away, and we get to do it tomorrow freshly. That's how fleetingly we're here.
I refuse to believe that generations from now, Transylvania 65000 will not be watched and studied. But here's my confession to you, Jeff.
Yes, confess away.
In all our years of talking, I was a young man watching that movie. I and my older brother, we walked out of Transylvania 65000. It didn't work for us as a child.
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
That's like the only one of the Jeff Goldblum oeuvre maybe it's a reevaluation I need to give it. You tell me.
Not necessarily. I have my wallet right here. If you want a refund of I don't know what you spent on that ticket, but you did stay for half of it. So if it was a $5 ticket, I owe you $2.50.
Yeah. It was an Ed Begley Jr. problem more than a you problem. Probably.
No, don't say that. Ed Begley makes anything watchable over and over and over and over again. He's a great friend and one of the great.
What a life! Oh my gosh,
Homo sapiens on Earth, now or ever. Well, what can I say about that? Oh yes, yes. Well, who knows what's being beamed?
Yeah, it could be worshipped on another planet.
Yes. I'm sure John Biner may now be a cult figure of divine fixation.
I think this brings to mind, I remember there was an interview like Tom Hanks gave like a year or two ago where he basically said there were like 4 or 5 movies in his filmography that he actually is proud of. How self-critical are you when you look back at the work? How many movies would you say, I point to that and I'm legitimately very proud of that work?
Well, very proud, even very proud. Well, yeah, I'm grateful and pinching myself in half disbelief that I ever got to do any of it. Yep. And now having done it for these, as you say, 50 years and continually, that's just spectacular. But when I look back on, I know what he means because, and like I say, Jeff, this and that, you could have done better here, could have done better there. And it's unusual, it's unusual to not only be good, but these days I have a theory that you can't be good unless you're with a good director, unless you're really in a good movie. And good movies, for our taste, I'll bet, is few and far between. Yep. Those are rare, but I've been lucky. I've been, Nashville, speaking of Robert Altman, I do hardly anything in it, but, being in that movie, that's okay. And there are a couple other movies like that, Wes Anderson, movies, and Steven Spielberg, that dinosaur movie, people like it, and Jurassic Park, and they that got, and he's a special, that was a special kind of storytelling, and there's some others. Philip Kaufman is a wonderful director, wonderful person, and Invasion of the Body Snatchers. But I tell you, I'm trying to get better, and I think I might like my more recent things better. In fact, sometimes when I present myself as myself, I early on I might have fallen into a frightened actor kind of, hey, what's this publicity stuff, kind of thing, where you kind of, but really, my jazz gigs, have made me feel like, hey, this is kind of a good use of myself, and I'm enjoying this no end. And look at me yakking. It's if I were to write this all down, give myself a part with all these lines, and then expect to do them well, it wouldn't turn out this good. So I like improvising and kind of doing this kind of thing. So I'll bet there's a lot of recent stuff in this vein that I might, when all is said and done, go, that's kind of cute, and this and that,
biggest disconnects between expectation and result in your film career, for good or for bad? A film that you thought the experience of making it was going to turn out to resonate with an audience and critics, and didn't for whatever reason, and vice versa. Like, have there been projects where you weren't feeling it on set and then just clicked with an audience in a profound way?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I know that's a good question for most people because they might have interesting answers to that. Myself, I can't off the top of my head, and maybe I've been asked this before. No, there's nothing.
Like the Independence Day thing, did that shock you at the time? Jurassic couldn't have, because it's Spielberg.
Sure.
And
no, those the popular movies, yes, like Independence Day and that first one and that first Jurassic Park. Oh no, it wasn't so shocking. It wasn't like, hey, I had a bad time and gee, who knows what this is going to be? Oh no, dinosaurs and that book had been popular, and Steven Spielberg, and so you think, but nobody would have predicted, and it was still surprising and delightful that it turned out to be as nerve tickling, that it was so widely,
right,
and has stayed, state of interest. Similarly, Independence Day, that could have gone a couple of 100 different ways, but that kind of rang the bell for several people, for a bunch of people, and then The Fly, I think was a horror movie. I'll bet some people had turned that down before. I don't know for specifically, but, although David Cronenberg,
But I guess it's maybe more even on the flip side of the smaller films that must have felt special. I mean, even something like Adam Resurrected with Paul Schrader, which the audience is only going to be so large for a film of that type.
Right.
But I don't know, those must, I mean, you pour your heart and soul, especially into those projects, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And then to see varying degrees of success that's a pill to swallow, but I guess the experience is the reward. I don't know.
Of course, like we're saying, the experience is always really the award or the reward, and that's not just lip service, glamorous, cliche lip service. Because where are we getting to anyway? And and so but no, I knew, with several movies, that it had, like you say, a limited potential.
Right.
Anyway, it wasn't going to be a blockbuster.
Yeah, The Mountain wasn't going to make
The Mountain wasn't going to make it.
But it's...
You hope. Like I say, I've never been careerist, so I guess some people go in hoping, oh, this is the one I'm going to really grab the brass ring for of some kind. I've never really done that. You just go, this is worth doing, and we'll try to make this as good as possible. Then it goes, well, some people like it, some people don't. Yeah, so nothing, like I say, distinct, outstandingly, shocking one way or another. Yeah.
Like many actors who've been doing this a minute in recent years, we've been returning to these characters that resonate, whether it's the Independence Day sequel, the Jurassic movies. I'm curious, like, now looking back, you got a chance to reprise Ian Malcolm a couple times, one in a more significant way than the other. I don't know, did you get something out of it? I mean, obviously that's fun to like revisit a character that people have such affection for, but did you feel like, I don't know, those characters were served in Dominion, that you and Laura and Sam got enough fun stuff to do for your money? I don't know.
There you go. That's a good question. Well, so I did that first one, then I did that second one with Julianne Moore and Vince Vaughn, and that's I think that did well. That was fun to do. That was with Steven Spielberg still.
I love Lost World. Lost World's actually got some amazing stuff in it.
Yeah, Pete Postlethwaite.
Oh,
yeah, and Richard Schiff, and then I made an appearance in that next one. Worked, I tried to do my best on that J.A. Bayona thing, and then did that last one. Yes, I worked hard. I guess that's the headline. I did work enjoyably on that, and went, hey, here's some, let me see if I can do this, and tried to protect the character and everybody, even in every part of that movie, every job description on that movie, everybody was trying to, protect the audience's, not betray their interest and their hopes for it. I thought it went fine, dandy. It was it was enjoyable to be with Sam and Laura again, and the three of us would huddle together and try to maximize our opportunity and see if we could, do the assignment. Yeah, I thought finally I was okay. We did that at the beginning of COVID, and so they pioneered some of those protocols during that. It was an experience, but yeah, delightful, fine, dandy.
Do you know anything about what's going on? We talked about Jonathan Bailey.
All I know, I know nothing. All I know is that Jonathan Bailey, after we said goodbye, he said, "Hey, this is what I'm going to do." And Scarlett Johansson. So Scarlett Johansson, I knew I'd come into contact with her mom. We had a meeting at the Chateau Marmont when she was, she'll remember better than I do, 11 or 12 or 13, talking about something to possibly do together. And she was strikingly full of talent and gifts and beans and vinegar, from the start, obviously. And then she's just great. And then we rubbed elbows on, had a brush on Asteroid City.
Of course, yeah.
In which she was spectacular. I had my little thing. But just to hang out a little bit was delightful. I'm a big fan of hers. And then I can't. This is another secret that I'll only allude to. No.
Okay.
No. It's. We did something together that I'm looking forward to, bringing home. So you'll see something about that. But she is great.
Is that Jurassic adjacent, Marvel adjacent? Is that?
Oh, I can't tell you. So she is. So what I know is I don't know as much as you do.
Okay.
It's what is it? It's Scarlett and
Jonathan. Mahershala Ali. David Koepp is writing it.
I knew that. Mahershala Ali. I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, that's probably.
We don't even know if it has continuity. Like if it's like in this, is it a reboot? We don't know if it's a sequel.
I haven't the vaguest idea. I haven't heard a thing about it.
Okay.
I'll be in a sleeping bag on the sidewalk, possibly days before, to get that first ticket. Oh yeah.
You know how I am with those abrupt sounds. So you may or may not have just alluded to Marvel, but I am curious. Is there more Grandmaster? Perhaps coming.
Grandmaster. Hey, you put the emphasis on more Grandmaster.
Grandmaster.
Don't I say the Grandmaster? If anything, it's a little bit equal or second syllable. Emphasize
that's
the
what you're taking
Grandmaster. The Grandmaster. You said the Grandmaster. Well, do you say roast beef? I say roast beef.
You're focusing on the wrong syllable, as always.
Yeah, do you say TV? Let's watch some TV. I say let's watch the TV.
Jeff Goldblum, not Goldblum.
That's right. Although I was in Argentina once, and the David Letterman at the time of Argentina said, "Here he is, Jeff Goldblum." Yeah.
Wait, what were you distracting me from? So there may or may not be more Grandmaster.
Grandmaster. If there is,
okay,
it's in your cards, in the future cards, and in your crystal ball, Horowitz.
Do you keep up with the Marvel shenanigans? Do you hear about? Yes, Robert Downey Jr. Do you know about this?
I don't know. To what are you referring?
Let me inform you.
Go.
He is coming back. Iron Man died. I don't want to upset you. Iron Man's dead.
Okay. I'll have a shoulder.
This is a lot to process, I know, at once. Iron Man died.
Yes.
But the good news, I have good news for you, Jeff.
Ooh.
Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as a bad guy, Victor Von Doom, a.k.a. Dr. Doom, in Avengers Secret Wars. Process as you will.
Excellent news. I think I'd vaguely heard I'd heard whispers on my peripheral, channels. Victor Von Doom.
Yeah, what a name.
I like that name. If my name had been Victor Von Doom, I'd be a lot further along than I am now. That's a great name.
Yeah.
Or Von to anything, or Van.
Yeah, Goldblum would have been wonderful too.
Von Goldblum. Hey, what's the in North by Northwest?
Oh, one of my favorites.
Yes, it's James Mason's character. What's his name in the picture? Come on.
That's upsetting. We're going to have to Google. I don't know. It's been a minute.
It's Van Damme.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's Van Damme. And what's his first name? I I forget. But Van Damme, wasn't he great
Martin
in that?
Landau in that. Oh, my
and Martin
God.
Landau. Ooh, so good. And Cary Grant. Very, very good. And, of course, Eva Marie Saint.
I could go on. Arguably top 5 movies for me. Although
like
I didn't
too.
remember the character name. Yeah.
Although, but that's okay, Van Damme. Although, if we're talking about Hitchcock, maybe the tippity top for me is Vertigo. Yeah.
Often at the top of those lists.
I like
Those all-time
Psycho.
lists.
I have an
Psycho's
affection
great.
for the birds, but I think Vertigo is tippity top. Bernard Herrmann's score, fantastic. Yeah.
Hey, who's the reigning impressionist of Goldblum nowadays? I've befriended Matt Friend recently. Is Matt the guy?
I'm sure you have. Matt Friend, I've seen from a little whelp
I know.
come up. Yeah, he's taken over show business. He's the Eddie Cantor of show business now. He's well on his way. Oh, he's fantastic. Well, he does a very nice thing. Oh, there have been several here and there. Do you do any?
No, I don't do anything. I would not insult you to your face. What are the do's and don'ts to doing a good Jeff Goldblum? What do you advise? What do you say? Is there too much hemming and hawing? Too much?
There's not too much of anything. Do whatever you feel. I'm always interested in a new wrinkle in the Goldbluming. Do whatever you feel. It processes its way individually based on the practitioner.
It's a state of mind as much as it is the mannerisms.
Certainly. I feel I've acquitted myself in Goldblum. I put a little too much Goldblum seasoning in this conversation, didn't I?
Never enough.
Really?
So who are the top 3 right now? Is Matt up there? Who are the
Oh,
other?
sure. Well, I wouldn't want to, insult anybody. I still like David Duchovny's when he was on the Saturday
SNL,
Night Live.
yeah.
Who else does it nowadays? Elon Gold does it. He does. I would have said he puts a lot of emphasis on that butt. He sprinkles, the. But I noticed myself doing it today, as if I'm doing an impression of his impression.
Right. It's getting a little meta. It could have, being Jeff Goldblum, the sequel to being John Malkovich. It's inevitable.
I don't think so.
No.
Nothing's inevitable, and that's inadvisable. But I don't know.
What else should we plug? I have to let you go. But KAOS, August 29th.
Yes, sir. I really am interested in seeing what you think of that. I really liked it. Great actors. I really like it. And Wicked comes out November 22nd.
We'll catch up for that, I'm
Our
sure.
band, Jeff Goldblum, the Mildred Snitzer Orchestra, is at the height of our form. We've recorded something else that's coming out after the first of the year.
Rockwell's gone though in LA. Did they
Rockwell
close
closed
up?
its doors during that, but we're playing. We just played 3 places in New York.
What?
Last month? You missed it. I was looking for your face the whole time. I was distracted. Where is he? Just like Bogart in Casablanca, of all the gin joints, why can't he walk into mine? I said about Horowitz.
I'm crushed.
But we were at Le Poisson Rouge. I think I'm pronouncing that
Almost too well, yeah.
And then Brooklyn, we were at the Opera House, and we went even to the Hamptons. So, and now this next month, if you find yourself near Florence, Italy,
I would love to. I'll try to work it in.
we're going to be there. We're going to be playing September 20th and 21st.
Amazing. Jeff, I literally could talk to you for hours. Thank you for making the time. I love that I never even have to look at these damn cards with someone like you.
No, give them to me.
No, you can't.
Oh, can I take them home and set up
I can't
an altar?
reveal my secrets.
Really? Secrets. Hey, remember that Conan bit that he used to do? Secrets.
But I used to love In the Year 2000.
In the year 2000. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, we could talk about so much. Yeah, we should have a podcast.
To be continued.
Well, this is a podcast. Aren't these podcasts like an hour and a half or 2?
Look, you're the one on a busy schedule. Next time we'll take more time. I've been trying to make the Horowitz Goldblum thing a permanent, ongoing thing. I've been trying to manifest this.
Really? Manifest? That's where you went wrong. What do you mean, like the guy who goes, here's a Russian Fabergé egg. I just, he had it up his sleeve.
Bottom line is, I'm at your disposal, always. You know that, Jeff.
Thank you. I'm touched.
It's good to see you, my friend, as always. Thank you.
Thank you, my
We
friend.
did it. Only certain men can handle the pinky ring. I can never do it.
Oh!
And so ends another edition of Happy, Sad, Confused. Remember to review, rate, and subscribe to this show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm a big podcast person. I'm Daisy Ridley, and I definitely wasn't pressured to do this by Josh.